this instance, we know that things can change in many different directions. This is an important understanding to have, because when we look at ways to change or to adapt, it's important to say, not think here. This is kind of like outside the box. But this phrase, outside the box, thinking outside the box, because it's with all these possibilities, which are actually technically infinite, that so many more things can arise. We want you to know that it is intelligent to be able to step outside of this linear thinking. Look how much is here if we step outside. But even so, you see these outside are still a box. So we even implore to step outside of this. There are so many things that are possible. We cannot limit ourselves to what we think, unfortunately. We think we know a lot because, we've been on this planet for however many years, X many years, Y many years, we've done Z many things. But in reality, if there's an infinite amount of possibilities and ways of doing things and exploring, understanding, being, knowing, how can we know everything? This can be very disarming in the sense that what we thought we knew could be the only outcomes, but they're infinite. This is why methods that are on the rise at the moment about thinking of your future self, or being able to tap into what the thoughts and feelings of other situations feel like than what you currently are in, work, because it helps you vibrate at this level. And before we spoke about being an atom and having your action potential, and this is true for any situation, okay? It's when we get stuck in the thought that we know everything, and that XYZ can be the only outcome, and then they just kind of bounce off each other in this kind of unhelpful way. But if we break outside, this has been the message for a while now, but we have to break out of this thought pattern and loop, because the only way to do things differently is to think different, be different, as you is your essence. And being outside this box brings so much pleasure in terms of being able to understand that you are never trapped. You're actually never stuck. And this can be fun. It's very often, this is like a little wave of us just like chilling, let's do a little lie low. Maybe you don't love the water, but you understand the notion, like a sunbed or pleasure. The pleasure wave, we're riding the wave of pleasure, because the way we get caught up in our XYZ and not being able to access this pleasure is because, we think we know everything and we can't expand beyond it. But this message to let you know that you can expand beyond and become into this pleasure state. It is simple, but it is not easy. This is a phrase that you'll understand, because the interesting piece of this is that you have more capability and capacity than you could ever know and think. In your mind, in your being, in your knowing. But you're so limited, look at this. And for some people it's even smaller. Right? They think, XYZ, and they just ding 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 ding, like a little pinball. A little pinball. And a pinball is good because it has this action potential that we mentioned, but it can get very chaotic. Think feeling anxious. your pinball is going ding 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 ding, which is all good, I guess, if that's what you like. But we want to let you know that this is not a true state of being. Ding 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 ding. But where the pinball, you can actually control the pinball. I can't even draw a pinball game, but let's say we've got all of these and these little things coming down. These are all the infinite possibilities, okay? And when we hold on so tightly to what we think is, we bounce around, and then we actually might go, which, yeah, would be anxiety inducing for anyone. Or say if you're not feeling that you have this knowing, being ability to be on this pleasure float, bus, whatever, lie low, sunbed, then you don't think you have any potential. So the pinball's actually like dead, stagnant. It's not even moving. It's just like, or maybe it's moving a little bit, very slowly, but just like kind of bouncing up and down, maybe in that triangle that we mentioned earlier, and the ideas that you already have in your mind. But to break beyond this, is something you can do. And this allows the ball to smoothly flow in a nice direction. Think of the wave. It's like a calm wave, not like a crazy tsunami wave, a calm wave. And you can just kind of pay attention to it and let it flow instead of getting caught up in the craziness or feeling super stagnant. Things will always flow. Everything is always in motion. Do not forget this.